Hi, I'm Matt with etrailer, and today I'm going to be talking about the Malone AirFlow2 roof rack system on top of our 2023 Subaru Forester. This will be a great option for you if you're looking for an entry-level roof rack system that's really going to help you get a lot more stuff on top of your vehicle, because you might not have a lot of space in the back for luggage or any items like that, or if it's already completely full with other people, you're going to be very limited on what you can haul. It's also going to be really great for if you have any longer items like skis, kayaks, or roof boxes. So let's take a closer look at it. Our system today is going to be comprised of two parts. That first part is going to be our airflow bars, and then the second part is going to be the towers. So let's take a closer look at the crossbars. So up top, you'll notice we have this weather strip and this T-channel. That T-channel is going to be great if you have any T-channel accessories, and that weather strip is also going to help reduce wind noise and keep any debris from getting in there. What I really do like about that is that it's built in, so you don't have to worry about cutting it down the size. And another thing that's going to help reduce wind noise is going to be the overall shape of the bars. They're going to be arrow bars, so it's going to also help reduce that wind noise. And at the very end of it, you notice we have this end cap. If I push here, that'll reveal this empty space, so it's going to be a lot easier to put your gear on here. Now, a caveat off of that, though, is if you have any gear up here that doesn't have any lock cores on it, someone else could come by and take that off a lot easier. And at the very bottom, we have another channel, and that's going to be used to attach your towers. In normal cases, you will have a weather strip under here as well, but since we just use this for demonstration purposes, we don't have that on today. Next up is going to be the towers, and the towers are what grab onto your raised rails to give you that snug fit. How these ones work is it's going to be a clamp that grabs around these rails, and it's going to have this rubber coating underneath so it doesn't scratch anything up. You also have this lock core in the back of it just for the added security, and if you remove it, you'll notice that we have the built-in tool as well. You'll be able to use this to tighten your clamps into place. Now, I do have a couple gripes about this tool, which I'll address during the install portion. Let's go look at how this is going to fit up here now. So if I go from our raised rails to the top of our roof rack, that's going to be just about 2.5 inches, which isn't too bad. What I suggest doing is just taking the total height of your vehicle, plus your crossbars, and then if you have any gear on top of that, add that as well so you know what areas you can make it under. As for your overhang, that is going to stick out a little bit further. We're going to have just about 6.5 inches of overhang, so if you are getting really close to this, you might bump your head, but it's not going to be very likely. It is going to be great if you have any additional gear that you want to get closer to here so it's a lot easier to reach, anything like ski carriers. And we're going to have our spread. What's really nice about having raised rails is you're going to have a lot more options when it comes to your spread. Really, it's going to depend on what gear you have to adjust for. But as you can see right here, we put it as far back as we could, and we have about 27 inches of our crossbar spread. And if you notice, we're not going to be blocking any of our sunroof at this point. Now, if you have a longer crossbar spread, that could change. And something else to keep in mind, if you have really long items and you do have this all the way back here, that's probably going to impede your hatch clearance. As far as what you're going to be able to put up here, you're going to be able to load this up with 165 pounds. But what I recommend doing is just checking what your roof is rated for, then going from the lowest rated component. You're also going to be able to put T-channel accessories on here and clamp-on accessories as well. Overall, I think this will be a great system for you. If you're looking for something that's going to get you a lot of bang for your buck at an entry-level price with a lot of premium features, like having that included metal lock core installed, having the built-in weather strip and T-channel, and how easy they are to install and uninstall as well, because they do have that included tool, even though it is a little annoying to use. To start off the installation, we're just going to lay everything out. So up front, we're going to have our crossbars, and next to that, we're going to have the two towers, and then the end caps. And one will have this built on Allen key. Also recommend grabbing a tape measure to make this a lot easier. We're going to start off with flipping over our crossbar. So this is going to be the top part, and this is going to be the bottom. And we're going to remove our end cap just by pulling it right off. And we're going to put our towers on here using this T-channel. You're going to slide these 2 plastic blocks through it. Once you have the first one on, you'll notice the orientation is having this smaller clamp towards the inside. And I'm going to push that all the way down to the other side. And I'm going to make sure the second clamp is facing the opposite direction, making sure that this bolt is facing out. And at the very end, just make sure to put your end cap back in place. When you're ready to put your crossbar on top of your roof, a few things to note is you want to make sure this is in the right orientation. So we want to make sure that this thicker side is facing forward and this thinner side is facing behind us. And when you are placing it up top, you just want to roughly place it on your raised rails, trying to line up these clamps, just like that. You'll notice that we already have our rear crossbar up here, and the process is just going to be the same for both of them. What I like to do first is to make sure we square this bar off. So I like to go from one point that's going to be the same on both sides, and measure from that point, and make sure both sides are the same. Then we're going to move over to the overhang, going from our tower to the end of the crossbar. And once you get that measurement, you want to make sure both sides are the same. And a good way to adjust that is just by grabbing your tower and pushing or pulling on the crossbar. Once you have one crossbar on here, we can get our crossbar spread. Once you get the other one up there, you're just going to go from the front of one to the front of the other and just make sure it's the same distance on both ends. At this stage, we want to tighten everything down, and we're going to be using this included Allen key that comes with your kit. Now, this is something I'm not a big fan of. As you can see right here, I can't get that full rotation because it makes contact. So what I got to do each time is take it out, put it right back in, and just keep doing that until this is all the way tight. Now, if you're not a big fan of this Allen key, you can use another Allen key if you can find one on hand to tighten this completely down. When you're tightening this down, you also want to keep in mind you're going back and forth, because if you tighten one side too much, it's going to pull and not give you an even fit. But once you have this all the way nice and tight, you can tell because you're going to have a lot of resistance. Then you can put this back in place, just like this. Finally, we're just going to take our key and lock this into place. You might have to flip it around. And then give it a good shake test. Make sure everything feels secured. And if it does, then you can take it for a ride with whatever gear you have. That's just a look at the installation and some of the features of the Malone Roof Rack system on top of our 2023 Subaru Forester.